everyone, it's CL and we are approaching the end of January, which is crazy to me because I feel like it's just flown by and it was just yesterday that we were celebrating the new year. But we're coming into February. How is this happening? So anyways, I kind of wanted to give a little bit of an update, and in all honesty, the new year has already been an emotional roller coaster. I feel like I have a year-long's worth of being on a roller coaster of emotions, and it's only been a month. So a part of me is a little bit terrified, like how the rest of the year is going to go, because if we're already starting on an emotional high, what is going to happen throughout the year? Because I'm already afraid and I'm kind of getting overwhelmed with the idea. So I'm trying very hard to stay positive, not think about the rest of the year because that's just things I can't control. I'm trying to stay positive and I'm trying to still function throughout the day, whatever that means. So I think in January, just a lot of things are hitting me all at once, and they're all things that are essentially out of my control. So, and mind you, I have some pre-recorded videos I still need to edit, so if I kind of talk about some of the same things and talk about some things that are out of order, it's because those are pre-recorded videos and I have yet to edit them, and most likely I'm going to post them out of order just because it's just what it is. So the first thing that's going on with me this year is that my divorce proceedings, like the whole court process and the paperwork, that's still going on. I got word from my lawyer that she says it's almost over, but almost over to a lawyer could be like the rest of the year. But regardless of that, so one thing that I was kind of looking forward to this year is that at some point my divorce proceedings will officially be over and I would no longer have to pay my lawyer. So coming into the new year, I kind of had this fantasy, and I'm going to be very specific and call it a fantasy because at this point, it feels like this is just something I fantasize about and that will never come true. But in my mind, I had this fantasy that my divorce proceedings would be done this year, and all the money that I pay monthly to my lawyer, I will finally be able to put that money away in my savings. And that will be like one less thing. And I had fantasized that once my divorce finalized, I would like take myself out and just celebrate. I was gonna go to this fancy steak dinner. There's a restaurant that I've been eyeing. When you look up like the reviews on Google and it has the little dollar signs to see how expensive it is listed with many dollar signs. And I was just gonna treat myself because this whole divorce process has been a lot. It's been very stressful. It's been a lot of money. And when it's finally over, I wanted to celebrate and just kind of have this big sigh of relief. That was also a fantasy, keyword fantasy. So now that we're into the new year and I've already have like all these things I'm looking forward to, I recently got word that my company was sold. And most likely I'm going to be losing my job again because there's that cloud and that fear of the unknown, and all those emotions again are hitting me once again because I've been with this company 3 years. Prior to this company, I was laid off from another position and I was like living with my dad. So all these emotions start hitting again. Like I started feeling so comfortable here. The city I live in, I love it so much. I've grown so attached to it. It's a safe area. We have our favorite places. I am able to navigate without a map because I feel so comfortable going around everywhere. I feel very comfortable living as a single female with my daughter. Like I just love it here. So one of the things some of you might remember is that when I first moved here, I reiterate many times in the video that I was very fearful of buying like furniture, like living room furniture with the couch and the big TV and like the whole living room setup. I was very hesitant to buy furniture because I felt like the way my life goes is that something always happens. Like something always happens that makes things so unstable. And 3 years later, I still never bought living room furniture, but I was really on the cusp of finally doing it because I felt so comfortable here. I'm like, this is my home. I really want to stay here. I love the company that I work for. Maybe I will buy my living room furniture as a way to show that I'm ready to grow some roots here, right? And then all of that is shattered because my company was sold. So sorry if the lighting is shifting. My dog is, I normally film with the blinds closed and my dog is peeking his head through the blinds, so some extra sunlight is coming through. So there might be some color fluctuations in my video. But anyways, as far as my current company, at minimum, I think I have at least 6 more months. At best, I have until the end of the year. If by some miracle they decide to retain my team, that would be best case scenario, but I have to be very truthful to you because I've been working in this industry for a very long time. Companies do a lot of doublespeak. So in my situation, there is a pocket of people that are for sure moving over because of the type of work that they do. And then there's pockets of people such as my team, which is like a fairly small team that is very niche in what they do, that they are still up in the air. So during our Q&A sessions, people will ask like, when will we know whether or not they retain us or not? It's always double speak. Like they always make the call sound very positive, like, oh, they're still looking into it, we're gonna let you know, but just know XYZ, and that's why you should be positive. And the reason why they're so positive on these calls is because they want you to not be worried and to still work at full capacity, if that makes any sense. I know how to sift past all the extra fluff and kind of ask the questions to kind of get a hint of like what's going on. So one of the things that I learned, so the work that my group does, so the team that they already have established with this other company is really, really large. If I think about it honestly, they honestly don't really need us, you know? They already have a huge team established over there. So that is why for myself, I need to be skeptical to kind of protect myself emotionally and protect myself mentally. Like it's one of those things where prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So I'm already coming up with like an action plan. So once I finally get word of the last day. So I'm already putting together like an action plan of what I'm going to do as far as like finding another job. And it's like a whole process. I'm going to put that in a separate video so it will be like more focused, and then anyone else that's kind of like in the same boat, they can kind of get ideas from that video. And one of the other reasons why this has been a very emotional process for me is because Elle doesn't know yet. Like I don't want to tell her until I know for sure. I know for sure whether or not I'm being laid off and when that end date is, because I just really want her to focus on school. I for sure want to stay here through the end of the school year at least. And I want her to be happy. I don't want her to think about in the back of her mind like having to move and what's going to happen and worrying about money. Those are all worries that I need to carry, and I don't want her to have to worry. Just focus on school and then we'll figure it out. But there is a lot of like parental guilt. She has such a big support group here and she's starting to get very comfortable as well. Like, she goes to weekly therapy. So at one point in New York, she had to go through some additional testing. And when I read through the full exam and the questions they asked, one of the things that came up was that she moved a lot. She brought up that she moved a lot and she felt like, what's the right word? Like she felt like she always expected to move a lot and there was always change, and there was nothing permanent that she could like grasp onto. So now that I am potentially going to get laid off, I have tremendous parent guilt that once again I'm like uprooting her life, and it's something that's out of my control. Like I absolutely will look for another job, but where that other job is, it could be anywhere. Like of course I'm going to apply all over California, but California is very large. I could be in Southern California, I could be in Northern California. We could move 2 hours away or 7 hours away. Like it's so up in the air, and I feel a tremendous amount of guilt. If I could just choose how I wanted life to be, I would absolutely choose to have like an amazing job here in the area, in the city that we live in. I would choose that we would get that house that we've always wanted. I would choose that we would build roots here. But realistically, those are all things out of my control. Like I will continue to work hard and to try every day to continue to improve for our family. I just feel bad. I feel bad, I feel guilty. It's like a slew of emotion. It's just a lot. It's just been a lot. So I've been trying to stay positive because that's gonna help me not fall into a deep depression and kind of just sleep all day. So I've decided that this year I'm just gonna try really, really hard. And those things that are out of my control, they're just out of my control. But I'm just going to try to really push hard this year. This year, I'm going to give it one really big push and do what I can. I just feel so much guilt, and I know it does me no good to think of all these scenarios and to think about all these what ifs, but like it's like I can't turn off my mind, and it gives me immense anxiety. So if I do lose my job, realistically it makes sense to move in back with my dad while I'm in that transition period of finding a new job. And even that, I feel really guilty because it should be the opposite. Like, I should be caring for my dad. I should be doing things for him. I should have a house in which he will decide whether or not he wants to move in with me. It's just one of those things that is not the case, and I feel really bad about it. I feel like as I get older, that's my role as his child, that I would provide for him in his old age, and then my mind runs to like, okay, if I do move back in with him, I'm going to be applying for jobs, and that's going to be hard in itself, because yes, it's normal here in Southern California to commute for your job. When I apply for jobs, and I've learned this from the previous time I was laid off, is that because of where my dad lives, he kind of lives not necessarily in the middle of nowhere. He kind of lives kind of far away from all the big companies. And of course, like I said, I'm going to apply all within California for a job, and I am willing to move wherever the job is. When you're actually applying, it's kind of a put off to employers if you live so far away, because it's easier for them to pick up candidates that are like local within their vicinity. So that will be hard. That will be a challenge as well. So this year has already been a lot. Like, I'm horrified for the rest of the year. I'm already stressed out to the max. But anyways, like I said, I do have some pre-recorded videos, so that might seem out of order. I'm just gonna edit and post, whatever. And then I also am gonna do a January wrap up of my goals, but just a little preview. Some areas I did really well, some areas I did complete garbage, but I'm gonna do a little wrap up, like a journal wrap up of how my goals went for January. So I will post January wrap up. I might do it tomorrow, like maybe I'll do it like at the last day of every month, or I might do it February 1st. So I might post it tomorrow. So anyways, if you're kind of curious, like, why am I posting this on the internet? I internalize a lot, and I feel like this is my outlet to feel like I'm talking to somebody, but really I'm not talking to anybody. So, but if you so happen to see this video and you make it to the end, thank you so much for listening. I truly appreciate it. I'm definitely that person that internalizes every emotion and has a hard time asking for help. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm still gonna keep pushing every day throughout the year to just try at minimum. I'm just gonna try. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.